and welcome to The Discriminating Gamer, the board game review show that, like Vidal Sassoon, doesn't look good if you don't look good. Oh man, we don't look good. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to take a look at Apocalypse Chaos from Z-Man Games. Apocalypse Chaos from Z-Man Games is a cooperative game for 1 to 4 players. Essentially, you're on a spaceship, you've got aliens attacking, and you and your friends have to work together in order to kind of stave off this constant, unrelenting attack from your enemies. Now, there's an introductory game, and then there are several scenarios you can play, and then you can even make it work as a campaign game, which is really interesting. Now, when you set up the board, you actually set up a 3-dimensional board. You set up tiles, essentially on the bottom, like 4 tiles, and then you can raise up certain parts of the board. You can create, 1 tile here, 1 tile there, maybe 2 tiles high. You can create these different tiles, and each of the tiles are different rooms, medical facility, engineering, yada, yada, yada. Now what you're going to do is lay markers 1, 2, 3, 4 next to the various tiles so you know where enemies are going to come in each round. Each player is also going to have their own player board with their character standee that's associated with it. Again, there's some kind of different tropes there that are going on. And you're each going to get your own activation dice. You each get 5 dice that you're going to use in this game. Now, each round, you're going to put out new enemies through those numbers, those vortexes on each of the different squares. You're going to put out 4 enemies, and they're each going to have kind of different rules and movement and what have you there. Next, you're going to prepare your heroes. You prepare your heroes by rolling the 5 dice. That's right, this is a dice allocation game. You're going to be rolling certain symbols. Now, you may roll melee attack, which allows you to attack aliens that are right next to you on the board. You may roll ranged attack, which allows you to attack aliens 2 spaces away. So you're in one tile, there's another tile there, and then you can fight the alien off of that tile. You could also roll shields, which will help to protect you and anyone else on the same tile with you if you are attacked by one of the aliens. You may also roll movement dice, and you may also roll dice that allow you to trigger a special ability that your character may have. You may also roll a star, and a star kind of will allow you to go on certain abilities depending on what your character is. So, for instance, your heavy weapons guy, he's going to have stars that are going to be made available to him on his weapons. Other people may have abilities made to them on movement or shields or what have you. You can also allocate dice to what was known as the EST, the extra support, yada yada. I don't recall the actual name, but the EST, how that works is if a number of die equal to the number of players are set aside into that EST. So in a 4-player game, everyone would have to set aside 1, or maybe one would have to set aside 2, while the other 2 people did 2. Any combination, but there would have to be 4 dice that are set aside in EST. That essentially allows you to go ahead and just inflict damage on all the enemies, no questions asked, right at the beginning of the round. Now, in the 3rd phase, you have the attacks. Now, there's an initiative order. Both some of the heroes and some of the enemy aliens are going to have lightning bolts that are their initiative. And that's another thing you can put on your board, is to try to lower your initiative, because the fewer lightning bolts you have, the higher initiative you have. So all of the 1 initiatives are going to go first. First, the heroes with the 1 initiative, then aliens with the 1 initiative. Then the heroes with 2 initiative, then the aliens with 2, then 3, then 3. And so what this is forcing you to do is figure out how you're going to spend the die, how you're going to optimize them in order to attack your enemies and move around. Now, when you attack your enemies, again, it's kind of deterministic combat, you simply inflict a number of damage points onto them, and then they will do the same thing to you, of course, minus any shields that you or anyone in the same tile might have. Now, during this phase, either heroes can be eliminated if all of their life points are drained, or the enemies, if all their life points are gone, then they are out of the game as well. Now, enemies, when they attack, they don't just simply attack. They, too, have rules. They essentially have kind of movement and attack, melee or ranged, on the bottom of their thing. So when they activate, they're going to say, do a melee attack, and then move, and then do a ranged attack. So they're constantly moving around the board, which means you have to be aware not just what they're doing when they're activated, but as their activation continues, do you want to be in a place where you're going to catch fire? Because of course, if they fire at you and fire a ranged attack, but you're adjacent to them, it's not going to affect you at all. However, if ever it hits an empty spot that holds pillars, it's going to take out pillars. And as soon as 3 of those pillars are gone, that level collapses, essentially. Finally, in the 4th phase, if there's any kind of effects that took place, there may be fire tokens that are put out that are going to affect, or if you've thrown grenades, they'll go off. So things will still happen in that last round, that last phase of the round. Now, the heroes win the game if they can take out all of the bosses. Now, the bosses kind of are very distinctive cards. You can tell the bosses. Once you've killed all the bosses, you win the game. The enemies win if they kill one of the heroes, and then that means all the other heroes only have 2 rounds in order to win the game. If they can't win the game after 2 rounds, all of the heroes lose. Now, that is just a very, very brief, very bare bones overview of Apocalypse Chaos. Like I said that a lot, there is a lot going on in this game. There's a lot more to it than what I'm putting out there. This game, as I say, is a dice allocation game. And what that means is it's kind of strategic, and it's kind of a puzzle on a lot of levels, because it's a puzzle in that you're rolling the dice where you want them and where you think you'll need them. At the same time, it's a puzzle because you're trying to figure out, okay, where should I be in order to take the least amount of damage, or hopefully no damage, this round? Where am I going to move to? How am I going to position myself? So it's a puzzle on a lot of levels, and you have to work together in order to maximize your efficiency. If you don't do that, you will all die. So it's very important that you work together to solve this puzzle on this spaceship that is being attacked by aliens. So the game is it's interesting and it's fun. If you like these kind of puzzly cooperative games that you have to kind of think strategically, you have to think 2 or 3 turns ahead, I think you'll get a kick out of this game. I enjoyed it. I have to tell you, I liked this game. I didn't love it, and I didn't love it because I kind of felt like at a certain point it kind of feels a little samey. It's not a bad thing, and I think people that really get into these kind of puzzle games that are still, they feel like there's action going on, because it is a kind of a thinky game, but the theme, I think, really comes through. For instance, I didn't mention, you can activate the rooms, and each of the rooms have different things going on that can help you, and that's interesting and thematic as well, and I really like that. But I just felt, I don't know, I liked it, I didn't love it, and I thought I was going to love it. It's a good game, it's a solid game. I don't know that it's a great game, but I want to go ahead and tell you to go ahead and try it before you buy it. It's a positive one, and I think those of you out there that like these kinds of games are really going to get a big kick out of Apocalypse Chaos. Thank you once again for joining us today on The Discriminating Gamer. As always, we ask you to please leave a comment for us on YouTube, on Board Game Geek, on our Facebook page, or on thediscriminatinggamer.com. We ask you to please like us on Facebook and subscribe to us on YouTube. Once again, we are The Discriminating Gamer, and I have to tell you, sometimes I think that my boss is an alien. Don't fire me. That's all I have. Please somebody help me.